Srimatre Namaha. Welcome to Tantra For Life. Tantra is the life-affirming path of spirituality, where instead of trying to dichotomize and separate and divorce yourself from spirituality and create this division between material life and spiritual life, we integrate spirituality into all parts of your life, into every single aspect of your being. And that is what this channel is all about. So we're going to be defining Tantra. We're going to be talking about how you can start to use Tantra in your life today for profound results. For example, Tantra can be used as a theory, as a philosophy to help you to become self-integrated, fully self-integrated. Stop doing war within yourself. Stop trying to divide material life and spiritual life. That the body is the gross manifestation of the spirit, and the mind is the subtle manifestation of the spirit. These are all the outer layers, like the different skins of an onion. And to help you to discover your spiritual identity, to know who you truly are beyond the body and the ego mind. This channel is going to have 3 new videos per week. A Yoga Nidra session, which is how this channel got popular. Before, this channel was called Tripura Mandala, but most people, they hear that, they can't even think about how to spell it, and I was having to type it into people's phones for them, and this is not good for word of mouth, and to also, people don't even know really what that means. Tantra for Life, the life-affirming path of spirituality. This cleans up and sums up everything that I'm wanting to say in these videos. So Sunday night, Yoga Nidra session. By the way, you can use any Yoga Nidra session for sleep. For those of you who are needing to use Yoga Nidra for sleep, it doesn't just have to have the word sleep in the title. In fact, one good way to fall asleep is to try to stay awake. If you tell yourself, I am going to lay in Yoga Nidra, in Shavasana, for a whole 50 minutes or a whole hour, and I'm not going to sleep, I'm going to stay perfectly awake, alert, aware. I'm not even going to have little micro sleeping sessions of non-awareness. It's a challenge. If you can get through a whole hour like that, then you're already a yogi. So you can use any Yoga Nidra session for sleep. I will still continue to produce Yoga Nidra sessions specifically for sleep, Yoga Nidra sessions for other aspects of your life to help you to deal with the most challenging things that you might be going through, to give you relief, psychological relief, to relieve that chronic psychological tension, which, when not checked and when not resolved, goes on to create psychosomatic illnesses and then organic illness and disease. And we live in a time in which we're prescribing medications to treat the symptoms of illness and disease, and we're not addressing the root cause. Right? And most of medicine is just concerned with keeping people coming back as patients, not to really heal you, because then they lose a client. This channel is about giving you those tools to be able to resolve psychological tension so you can know profound inner peace and serenity, which is just your own true nature. It's just an aspect and quality of who you are, not dependent on the objects of the senses. Yes, things like sweetness, hard and soft, or sour, or bitter. All those things, they are the different quality or aspects of the objects of the senses do have those qualities, but things like bliss, contentment, serenity, joy, those are your own qualities, not dependent on anything outside of you. The second meditation every week will be on Wednesday. Wednesday night, 6 p.m., on Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the third meditation every week will be on Friday night. And it's actually not a meditation. This is going to be a talk like this, where I'll be sharing with you different concepts, different ideas, also sharing with you about me, who I am. Like, for example, right now, here I am in Weligama, Sri Lanka. I'm on the southern side of the island of Sri Lanka. I just spent 6 months in Rishikesh, India, which is my second home, and I will be going back there soon. For those of you who want to meet me there, you still have the opportunity to. But being on a tourist visa, I have to leave every 6 months. And so this has become like my third home. You can think of it as. And so as I travel, I will be sharing with you about my journeys, my travels, what I'm doing, what I'm enjoying. I'm a spiritual traveler. I like to go to places like India and Sri Lanka and Bali and these types of places rather than Paris or New York or places like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Again, spirituality is everywhere. It's wherever you are. You bring it with you into your life, and you can use the world as your avenue and as your path to be able to experience more spiritual bliss and joy in your life. That might be a vague term. Bliss, what are we talking about? Awareness, what are we talking about? We're going to define all those terms. I'm going to be giving you some Sanskrit, but I will define every single Sanskrit word that I use so that I don't lose you. And we're still going to be doing a lot of Yoga Nidra here. Yoga Nidra is actually a tantric form of meditation. The difference between Tantra and Yoga we're going to talk about. Tantric forms of meditation, they work with the mind. Rather than trying to force the mind to become silent, rather than trying to sequester the mind and force one-pointedness, we work with the mind. We work with the elements of nature, with the forces of nature, the 5 elements and the mind and the ego, so that it can drop away when it's right. And then meditation and deep bliss and joy occurs spontaneously. It's not something that you should have to struggle for. It's just your own true nature. When the mind becomes silent and the body becomes still, then you can go into that bliss, which is you, your own nature. You can go into that spontaneously. Shouldn't be such a struggle. Whereas yoga is really more of a masculine path involving a lot of willpower. It's more linear, right? We have the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga that lead us in a very much more linear step-by-step path, whereas Tantra is more of a feminine path about surrender. You can use a mantra, for example, to tune your mind and psyche to a certain frequency. And then the more that you use that mantra, the more that you tune into that frequency, and that spiritual awakening happens spontaneously. And you wake up to your truth, which is just your truth. The truth is the truth that is not dependent on anything. And you can know the truth just like that, because it's just the truth after all. So the spiritual awakening unfolds within you naturally as a result of Tantra. Tantra can also be defined as a set of practices. It's the actual techniques that are done. And that's the reason that it was more secretive in the past. It's because this was the actual specific group of techniques that were being done in the different schools, the different spiritual schools. So you had to go into the school, and then you got initiated and you would learn the different techniques, the different mantras and things like this. So it wasn't so much secretive as much as just kind of for the inside group to make sure that everybody's doing the same practice. Everybody in that school, that philosophy, they're all doing the same techniques. They're all using the same mantras. So they're all going to end up having the same shared experience of whatever the goal is for that system, right? So it's a group of techniques. And from that definition, we can look at actually yoga itself is from Tantra. It was separated from Tantra when Tantra started to get negative press, kind of a bad rap, because the misconceptions of Tantra in the West, it's seen as sacred sex. And in the East, it's seen as black magic because of some of the abuse that was done to it. Because Tantra is so powerful, and you really can use Tantra for everything in life. You can use it for your material life to be able to have a more rich, fulfilling material life as well, or to be able to enrich your spiritual life, which is what I'm more focused on. So we're going to be talking about some of those misconceptions. We're going to be talking about how to use Tantra to benefit you in your daily living, breathing life today. So it's not just some abstract philosophy. And I'm also doing the 3rd video each week on Friday, which, by the way, Friday is for Venus. And Venus, Shukra, is the Tantric guru of the planets, whereas Jupiter is the orthodox guru, the Vedic guru. Venus is the Tantric guru, and Venus rules over Friday. And Venus is also about sensuality and pleasure and relationships. And that's what Tantra is about. Tantra will enrich your sensuality, and it's the sensual path of spirituality where we become fully self-integrated, and everything can be turned into a tool to enrich spiritual life and to lead to spiritual awakening and help you to become established in your highest spiritual identity, to help to unfold your awareness. That's one way of defining Tantra. Tanodi Triadi are the two words that the word Tantra is composed of. And it basically means to liberate the energy trapped in the matter of the body, Kundalini, and to expand your awareness. In order to expand awareness, we need high energy to fuel the expansion of awareness. So this is where the prana vidya comes in, the teachings on pranic healing, and also increasing your prana, awakening Kundalini, opening the chakras. All this is to fuel the expansion of awareness so you can know who you really are. You can wake up to your spiritual identity, your truth, which makes life so much more enjoyable, because then you don't get caught up and wrapped up in the play of the ego and our limitations. It's like an artist who's invisible and they don't see their body, so they think they are their art, their painting. And so anytime something happens to the painting, maybe it gets smeared or somebody's fingerprint smudges it, or there gets a little tear or a rip, they think that they're getting torn and ripped. They think that they're getting smeared and smudged because they don't know who they are. We are a lot like that artist where yes, the art is not separate from the artist. That's true. But the art is not. The artist is not the art, right? So too, you are not your ego. You are not your mind. You are not your body any more than the artist is the art on the canvas that they have created. But yet it is your creation. You are the cause for creating your own reality. Your reality is your experience of life. And the way you experience life is dependent on your perceptions, your attitudes, your beliefs. So we are all actively creative creators of our own realities. We're creating our own illusions of reality, but most of us are doing it unconsciously. When we become conscious to it, then it doesn't overwhelm you. It doesn't burden you because you know this is on the external side of all experience. It's all objects of your awareness, subject to change, whereas you, the self, are on the subjective side of all experience. But because only the Atman is on that subjective side of all experience, we miss it. Everything else is on the manifest side. It's an object of the senses or of the mind, the gross and the subtle. And everything else is an object that's manifest. Only the self is unmanifest subject. So that's why self-realization is a little bit tricky, but you can get it, and you can get it just like that, because it's just the truth after all. So I invite you to join me on this channel. Share it with your friends. There's a tremendous amount of momentum here. We've got 56,000 subscribers. I've been doing this for 11 years. I've lived with some of the greatest tantric masters of our time. My name, Devatma, was given to me by a great tantric guru. Her name, Swami Satsangi. She gave me the name Devatma. And I was there living with Swami Satyananda, he was the founder, the creator of Yoga Nidra. I was living with him when he left his body, when he died and took Mahasamadhi. I was there for that. I have a lot of life experiences. I've been practicing Tantra for now 18 years, and this is my life passion. I could go on and on and on for much more than just 14 and a half or 15 minutes, but we've got a lot of time for that. So I invite you to subscribe, to click the bell for notifications, to join me, and to interact. Ask me questions, and I will answer them, I promise you. And that's what also the talks are not only going to be about sharing these concepts and these ideas to liberate you and to help to create your own spiritual awakening for yourself, and also to share my world travel as a digital nomad, but also to answer your questions and to have group conversations and discussions together. So Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. Thank you for being such a loyal subscriber and listener. With great love and great respect, I thank you with all my heart. Shri Matre Namaha. Blessings to the Divine Mother.